everyone. We welcome Raina Pusch to the podcast on behalf of Big Fuzz. And this is a deep dive into his career and questions for a 71-year-old German saxophone wizard lost and found in India. So tell me, was it love, rebellion, or sheer lunacy that made you grab a sax instead of something sensible like a law degree?
I have a degree in math, but I think it's easier to communicate with people with music than with mathematic structures. So I decided better become music.
Nice. Germany in the 50s and 60s, was it jazz-soaked back alleys or cold conservatories? Where did your fire start?
I come from a town, it's called Heidelberg, and it is the headquarters of the American army in Europe. So in the 50s and all that, there were a lot of Americans. And in that time, the army was not a professional army. The people got taught by numbers. So there were big jazz stars in the army, big bands and all that. And they came all to the cave. So the music started in our area when I wasn't playing it at the time. It was in the 50s. So I came in the 60s, 70s, little hippie between the jazz cats, between the hippie rock and all these cats. And that's the way we started. We jammed.
What was the first riff that made you feel like God of Thunder had possessed your lungs?
Good question. Maybe the minor third. Spoonful.
Bebop, hard bop, soul. You didn't go soft. Why that gritty, sweaty end of jazz?
What means soft? In jazz you play ballads. They're soft.
Correct.
They're beautiful.
Yep.
And in pop, kind of fusion things, they're ballads too. So I think, it's in all kinds of styles. Just an E and A, because it's for the guitar players, the open strings sounds good.
Okay.
On the saxophone, it's only F sharp and B natural. Shitty keys, but okay. You work on it.
You've been coming to India since 1995. Well, what the hell happened here that got under your skin?
I came first for checking on South Indian music. I went to Chennai and I ran into people who played in the studios. And because in Chennai there are all these studios where they create the music for the movies, for the Tamil movies and all that. Rahman and all the other guys. And while I was studying, I ran into musicians and I played soprano saxophone. So that time, Kenny G was the god in movie music. And I played soprano saxophone. So I had a lot of possibilities to play in studios. And that was not easy to balance studying Carnatic music and go to the studio in the afternoon and play some love stories, there's always in Indian movies, it's always the same story. High caste girl who falls in love with a low caste, hopefully not Christian. There are two possibilities. It works or it doesn't work. And there's always the moment where they fall on the bed. And then there's a cut, and then they dance on the hills. And there, you need a soprano saxophone. Kenny G. So I was busy. We saw all these movies and had to play on those things. It was fun.
So was it the chaos, the chai, or some strange karmic deja vu that kept pulling you back?
No more this experience I had. This really extreme, different experience with teachers. I went to Karnataka to study with a saxophone player who lives in a little town just between Bangalore and Mangalore. in the forest, and I stood at this place for 2 weeks. And okay, I slept in the house next doors, and there was just the bed and a cloth. We slept on the ground. The first night was not so easy, but I found out it's usually built like that. So I learned again something, and he took me to South Indian big village fest weddings, where the whole village was invited, tables, food, and he played there, invited me to play with him. So there was adventures really. What me brought always back to India. I saw so many things.
Ever felt like you were born in the wrong country and maybe reborn in the right one?
Oh God, I mean, what is right, what is wrong? It happens like it happens. And yeah, I don't know. People ask me about reincarnation or things like that. I always come to the point and said, I just don't know. So we might see afterwards.
And as a saxophone player, which style of Indian classical music do you prefer, the North Indian or the Carnatic style?
Oh God!
And is India still a mystery to you, or is it something you still haven't solved?
I don't make a comparison there, because I always, when I came to South India, I saw that the South Indian talk about the North. I mean, they're dummies. The others, they cannot play, and but you have that so often. It's just stupid bullshit. They are all great. There are Jugal Bandi bands who really prove that it's possible. I mean, up to Shakti.
So, how does a Berlin jazz club compared to a midnight jam in Varanasi, or like sitars, or like auto rickshaws wailing in the background?
It depends, man. A jazz club is not here. You play more often in places where people are sitting talking, and some concentrating on the music. A jazz club, that's something I think I don't like so much in Europe. They sit in the concert and they listen to the music. It's good they listen and all that, but when it's too educated, it becomes so. But you find that in South Indian classical concerts too, the people sit there and and the structure. But I don't know. It's always different. So
amazing. Have Indian ragas ever snuck into your solos uninvited, like ghost notes from another universe? And if so, like, what are your preferred ragas that you like the sound of?
But so many ragas preferred. I mean, what they play always is Hamsadvani. Because it's so beautiful. No, but there are a lot of, there's so many good ragas. Lately, I don't play so much Indian classical music. I'm more into jazz. And now we play hippie music, man. Grateful Dead.
Amazing.
Funny.
You've danced with jazz for decades. You played with like various setups. Does India change the rhythm or just the lighting?
I mean, I did a lot of so-called Indo-fusion projects for a time when I was studying, and so a lot of South Indian musicians wanted to do something with Western kind of fusion, like Selva Ganesh or his uncle Subhash, and the whole family. These percussion players are incredible. And we did a lot of different things, I was with Shiva Mani and Prasanna was on guitar.
Great.
And it's long, when it was in the 90s. And that was interesting.
And we're talking about 95 to 98. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Nice.
And we had a lot of jams. I mean, I played with, we played concerts in Bangalore. We went back in the bus and all this kind of things.
So how was India back then and how much has it changed?
Oh man, the infrastructure was so heavy when you were from Chennai to Pondicherry. There was about 6-7 hours. Right now, that two-way road, you make it in 2 hours, it's changed a lot. When I came to India, to travel in India by train, you sit on the train for 2 or 3 days and all that. It's funny, the first maybe 30 stations, you take a child.
Some trains still take that much time if you go from Delhi to Chennai or Bangalore.
In that time, I did a mistake. I did the Daily Mail. No, the Bombay Mail from Chennai. Okay. So the Bombay Mail, that means it stops at every station. It's funny. Like I said, the first 20, 30 stations, you see the people. But it's about 2.5 days or 3. You learn patience. But I met a lot of nice people. And I think I never talked more about God than in Indian trains. Because there's so many different people, and then you're right there. Like people there's a Sikh, there's a Muslim, there's some Hindu, and then it goes on, man. It's crazy. I liked it a lot.
What's the weirdest, most magical, or the most illegal gig you've ever played in India?
Illegal? Oh, God. If I would know what is illegal. I mean, I go and play, I get paid. I see that not a chance to get into illegal things.
We talk about a strange connection to this land. Are we talking about reincarnation or something subtler?
Oh, damn. With reincarnation, I only can say, I don't know. I would see. It's a kind of arrogance to think if I have a question, there has always to be an answer. For sure. You can say pass to something you don't want to answer. But that's what I think. I mean, reincarnation, like I said, it's a very personal kind of see. But we want to know it right now. Our brain is not made to understand that, I think, finally. Yep. Ever found yourself jamming with a tabla player and thinking we don't speak the same language, but we're doing the same thing together as a band? There are how you call it? There's a word agogic. You know that what it is? Agogic means how you interpret a rhythmic phrase. Like, for example, an Indian example to do 5 is tadiginatam, 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 tadiginatam. When you do it in Western music, you think always in 8 notes and 16 notes. Tadiginatam, 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 because we stretch the downbeat of the 8 notes, and the Indian thinks the stretch from 5 to 5. So when we play together, we maybe meet together, but in the middle, we don't match. And if we don't take care about that, it sounds like, yes, it's okay, but there's something. And this is the thing, what I think is very, very important for every kind of fusion music. You have to understand both sides. And the problem often I got into, like, I talked to one Carnatic musician. He wanted to do a fusion project, and I said, "Okay, I'm a jazz musician. I don't stay in raga sometimes. I play chromatic. I do this kind of thing." And he said, "Oh, no problem, no problem. You play Western style, but just stay in raga." It's difficult because when you stay in, I told him, you want that I speak English and stay in Tamil. It's a different kind of aesthetic things, And you can find a way, if you know both good, but that's hard work to dance in 2 weddings at the same time. What's the difference between a Berlin audience and an Indian one? I don't know. Who screams louder? Who listens deeper? Oh, I'm not so used to Berlin because I was there several times, worked there, but I never lived there. But it depends where you go here. I wouldn't generalize that. Depends on the which area it is, what kinds of people come, students or more people from the town or so.
Okay, if Miles Davis had come to India, what do you think would have happened? Enlightenment or like complete meltdown?
New Orleans came after Coltrane died, and Indian jazz freaks took him down, and he went back and started again. So Miles, I don't know.
Okay. You're 71. Do your lungs still punch like a brass knuckle boxer? Or is your horn more of a whisper now, like some jazz monk?
No, not at all. I mean, blowing your horn is very natural. Other people meditate, I blow my horn.
How do you keep your playing raw and real after all these years and not just some museum piece?
I think music is about storytelling. And, it's long. I remember one of the first really serious jazz musicians I met was a Holland bass player. He was a guy out of the 50s, really beaten guy. And he was sitting at the table looking at me, and what do you want to play when you have nothing to say? And that hit me. I think all our heroes, you listen to them not because they know good playing the scales or some arpeggios or some rhythmical or heavy licks. They touch you. They touch you because they have a story to tell.
Do you still surprise yourself when you play?
Oh yes, and that's the reason why I play. I don't care which style I run into. It's there is no good. There's only good played or bad played music. There is no bad music. And if you try to make it good, you can make. I think most of the music sounding nice.
What do young jazz punks today get completely wrong about this sacred, chaotic music?
I think the biggest problem is totally inverse to what happened when I was a kid. We had no knowledge. The teacher had to give you the knowledge. And right now you have to keep the knowledge away from the kids and say, hey, focus you on that. Forget this, forget that. Just go for that for a while. The problem is there's too much information. And everybody who has something to say does a kind of a teaching video how to become John Coltrane in 24 hours. And that doesn't work.
Has aging turned you into a sage, a cynic, or just a louder version of the rebel that you always were?
Uh, I think being a cynic is kind of easy get out of the thing, you know. Just do some bad jokes and maybe intellectual, really nice, constructive, but doesn't help. I think no, the opposite. I mean, I do whatever. When I don't like it, I stop it and do something else. That's a nice. Maybe that's the main reason because I like my way of living. I when I don't like it, I'll take my suitcase and I go. If I have a house, business, burial, job, I have to stay. Somebody give me shit. Can I be? You have to work there. I pay my cab. You go.
Give me your craziest on tour story in India, preferably involving a guru or a ghost.
Don't know which town that was. I think it was in Bombay. A road, traffic jam, horrible, stinky. You know what I'm talking about. And there was a guy sitting, old cat. I think he was sitting there for 4 weeks already. And he was just sitting in cool. I mean, I couldn't do that, but it impressed me.
Ever play through heartbreak, illness, ecstasy, or blackout? And what came out of your horn?
There's a point sometimes. It's a rare moment, but you're not there anymore. You look at yourself and say, "Hey, wow, what are you doing?" You know, it's like you sit on the bridge and the water is or the river is running. Suddenly, the water stops and the bridge is running. Watch it. You know this moment,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what yeah can happen when you play music. It's rare, but when it's happening, you're not there anymore. Do you believe music heals, or is it just the most beautiful kind of madness that humans invented? Ooh, I mean, when I play, I don't feel like a wizard, but it can help uh, giving people nice vibes so they forget a little bit about their normal stress and things, you know. That helps, maybe. What's your favorite time of day to play? The sunrise haze or the midnight hallucination? Oh, difficult to say. I mean, in the morning, I'm more structured. I can practice special scales or things. In the afternoon, I prefer more to play, to talk. So, yeah, that's what I say. And the jobs are mainly in the evening, so uh, that's structured. Okay. So, what's been your most memorable gig? One saxophone, one spotlight, one song. Mm, I had a really nice experience once in Bangalore, a long time ago. There's a singer called Pallavi, and her husband, oh God, what is his name? Will come. A Carnatic trained drummer. He studied with Ranjit Baritone, so. And they had a show, and I went on stage with my soprano sax and I played a little intro. Just in the middle of the show, I came on stage and we didn't practice anything. And he played a beautiful cadence. And this is a song I put on YouTube under my name. It's called Morning Prayer. I really love the song. It was just nothing is planned. And that was fantastic. You know, these are the things they, you never know. Suddenly a click and something really beautiful happens. And you cannot plan that. That happens. Great. Thank you, Rana Pusch.